A very good afternoon and welcome to our session on healthy relationships between an infertile couple. We are glad to have our expert doctor Saloni Srivastava to talk about it. The doctor will help us understand the topic in detail today. In case of any doubts, you can put all your doubts and questions on the comment section. Doctor, you have the stage.
Hi, thank you so much for that introduction. Hello, I'm Saloni Srivastava. I'm the consultant counseling psychologist with Apollo Fertility, Brookfield, Bangalore branch. So today we are talking about the topic of healthy relationship between infertile couples. Recently, when I have been seeing couples, with who are going through process of IVF, IUI, the major thing that has come across in all of those, counseling sessions is that there is a sense of not so much there is no not understanding the communication gap and the harmony between the couple is somewhere lost in this whole process of first getting the reports about the infertility, then deciding which way to go in terms of all the doctor's appointment, IUI, IVF and all those things, right? So in that whole process of getting the reports to reaching to the point of deciding which process to go with, the couple relationship, the unit of couple is somewhere lost, and that has caused a lot of troubles in all the couples that I have seen recently, going through all these process. So that's essentially what we are going to talk about, that why it all happens, how it all happens, and how to rectify that, how to have a healthy relationship while a couple has determined that they are going through infertility and they have to go through a process like IVF and IUI. So let's begin that. But before that, all the people who are listening or will be listening to it later on as well, I want to tell you that if this is something that you are experiencing, if this is something that you have gone through or somebody is going through, first of all, I'm really sorry for that. But also, it's not the end, right? You have to look at this process, you have to look at these reports as a part of life, and just not your whole life. So if it becomes too overwhelming for you, which it can, discussing the topics and all of that, what you can do is please seek professional help, because that will really really help you. And of course, your the doctor that you are consulting will definitely be able to guide you to a counseling psychologist or a therapist. That being said, you can also put in your questions in today's live regarding if you have any questions as to how to deal with it. Okay, so let's start with what goes wrong. What goes wrong in terms of the couple unit, in terms of the couple system, when a couple is given the report that there is infertility, one of the partner is going through infertility, or both the partners are having some factor to contribute to the infertility part, right? When this happens, the first thing that takes a toll is the communication of the couple. So when we talk about communication, there are so many levels of communication. So for example, what I am right now doing with everyone who's going to see this live or is seeing this live right now, I am communicating with you. I am trying to communicate my thoughts with you. This is a different type of communication. The communication we have with our friends is a different kind of communication. With family, parents, friends, each type of communication is very, very different. So, we are here specifically talking about the communication you have with your partner. Now, when we are talking about that, in terms of infertile couples, what happens is the first thing that takes a toll is the intimacy part, right? Because they feel that the natural conceiving part of their life is not happening, and they have to go for assisted pregnancy. What happens in that case is the intimacy conversation between the couple takes a toll, and they are not able to communicate with each other their needs. And that is a very very important part, because if the intimacy part of the couple takes a hit, takes a toll, in that case a lot of misunderstanding can rise up, one of the partners who's given the report that because of something in their biological body, the infertility is there. In that case, that partner will not feel worthy, will not feel that they are contributing enough to the relationship, and they might feel a sense of hopelessness and worthlessness. That happens, and with that, if the intimacy conversation is also gone, the communication, the partnership is gone between the couple, that can make that partner feel even more worthless. The second thing in terms of communication is the disagreements. Now, disagreements can happen on two levels. First is when when the couple should seek help in terms of doctors, in terms of counseling help, in terms of, all the other things. There are so many things in, when a couple goes through maybe IUI, IVF, or all those processes, external processes. In that case, when do they start seeking help, right? That's a conversation. If both of them don't sit down together and decide, that can create a lot of confusion, because one person might want to do it just after getting the reports, but one partner might not be ready, might not be mentally ready to have this idea. Now I'll discuss a case here, small case that I saw here. That was that a couple came in. Okay, everything was going right. They were going for an IVF process. Okay, everything was going right. The follicle count, everything. The doctor had given the reports, and everything was positive. Okay, and still the woman was externally diagnosed with a mental disorder. She was diagnosed with anxiety and a lower level of depression, right? In that case, when she came in for therapy, okay, we started discussing, and the husband couldn't understand what was going wrong. He really wanted to help, he really wanted to be there for his wife, but he really couldn't understand what was going wrong. So in the therapy session, he was constantly saying that she's not communicating, I don't know how to help her, and all of that. And essentially, after 2 3 sessions, when we got deeper into that, we got to know that the wife, the woman in the partnership, in the couple, was not ready for the IVF process. And without her being mentally ready, they went ahead with the process, and that has affected her mental health so severely that she has developed anxiety. She has developed a lower level of depression, because she was constantly questioning herself that, am I not worthy? Am I not a nice person, that I don't want this process right now? I don't want a child right now. Now, if the couple was communicating with each other, the wife would have been able to express, would have been able to tell that, she doesn't want to go through that process right now. And they could have maybe taken a break, maybe, gone 1 or 2 months, or gone see a doctor and discuss that, okay, when do we start this process right now, because it's not the correct time. So, when to seek help is a major part of communication, which doesn't happen in a lot of infertile couples, and that, again causes the unhealthy relationship. The other disagreement is when to tell people, and who all should that people be. Now, one partner would want to tell at least, maybe their close friends, maybe their parents, maybe their siblings, for social support, right? Because that way they'll get the social support that, okay, we are here, all these things, the, second opinion, helping them out, and, all of those things. But the other partner might not agree with that. The other partner would want to keep it, maybe a secret, because of the taboo that we have around, assisted pregnancy and IVF and IUI. So that in order to not deal with that taboo, in order to keep that under the rug, what would happen is one of the partner would want to not discuss all these things with others. Now, this essentially creates a disagreement in the infertile couple, because one of the partners need the social support, and the other partner feels that, you know, That's they don't want to. Which on, if you look at individually level, okay, it's correct, right? Because one partner is looking for the social support from their parents, their siblings, friends, because they feel that it will get overwhelming when they go through this process, which it does, right? There is a lot of financial, emotional, and physical investment in this process. Of course, like, that social support at some point is needed. But if you look at it from the other perspective, that is the other partner seeing in our society, taboo that, okay, if somebody is infertile, there's something really wrong. If they should have taken better care of themselves, or all those questions that arises, because as a society, the only conceiving part we have accepted is the natural conceiving, right? So when that happens, both of them are individually correct, but they don't communicate that need with each other, with, that I want this because of all these reasons, and I want this because of xyz reasons. When that is not communicated, of course there is a lot of disagreement, they don't agree with each other, and again there is a communication gap. So that is one of another reasons why, an infertile couple becomes and enters an unhealthy relationship. Second is your partner, the fear that, my partner will leave me is a very major thing, especially in a country like India, where we promote the idea of, family system, where we promote the idea of couple system. Here, what happens is when we, say things like, okay, there is infertility issue, there is, the natural conceiving part is not happening. In that case, there is some biological issue in their body. In that case, they will constantly have the fear that the other partner will leave them. The other partner, will go ahead and live their life. In some cases, they themselves want their partner to leave them and, go ahead and maybe go have a second marriage or something like that, which creates a lot of communication gap between the couple. Second is the tension and resentment that the couple has. In that case, again, the communication and gap is, of course, there because of the tension and resentment between the couple. But that resentment, where does it arise from? Right? That's a very important question. That where is this resentment arising from? That resentment arises from the idea of a family. Okay, I'll tell you, this is something that, I have seen in a lot of couples, is that they, when they get into the institution of marriage, when they get married, okay, of course we all have an idea that by this age I want to achieve this goal of my life. It can be, in terms of your professional life, in terms of your personal life. Couples who enter marriage for completing that goal of their life of being a parent, okay, tend to forget that they also are a team. Without a child, the parents, the couple in itself is a team, in itself is a family, and they feel that they are incomplete without a child. In that case, they start resenting, they become vengeful towards the other partner. So this is a major part, and this happens more from the woman's side because she constantly feels that she is incomplete without a child. She's not able to provide a good, family system to the husband and to, their family. So she feels that she's not worthy, and in that case they both start resenting each other without even communicating that, this xyz thing is happening. Now, of course, these misunderstandings is, of course, there, and on top of it there is a financial strain. When a couple is diagnosed or, given the report of infertility, they, then they are given the options, that what all options do they have, and all those options do cost money. If you go to IVF process, if you go for IUI process, if you go for adoption, anything that you go after, having the report is a financial strain. Now, if one person is working or if both the people are working and they have not planned for this process for the coming expenses, this can become a financial strain on the couple, and financial strain again increases the gap between the couple and their communication, which again adds on to their unhealthy relationship. Feeling of worthlessness, as I discussed, that there is a feeling of worthlessness in one of the partners, because they will feel that they are not able to add that happiness to their partner's life. Especially happens with the partner who's diagnosed with the infertility, right? If both the partners are diagnosed with infertility, they feel that um, yeah, but I am the one more responsible for it, right? But that is not the case. I have told this to a lot of my patients, that sometimes you just don't have control over all these things. I have had patients who are dietitians, who are gym owners, who are fitness, they are into fitness, who are athletes, and they take care of their body in the best possible manner, right? Because when we think of dietitians, when we think of athletes, when we think of all those sports people, fitness people, what happens is, in that case, we think that they are taking care of their body in the best possible way, but they themselves are also sometimes diagnosed with infertility. It can be because of a lot of reasons. First, it can be because of genes. Second, it can be because of something internal which you can't really help. It can be because of environmental factors as well. So, in age, all these weight, all this, height, weight, BMI, age, all these things do contribute to the factor of infertility, right? So, blaming oneself and feeling that I am not worthy, or feeling that I if I were fertile, I could have given so much happiness to my partner, is a notion that is very, very wrong. Because that way you are putting an idea into the environment that you are not worthy, and your relationship is not worthy. So that feeling of worthlessness also does add to this feeling of unhealthy relationship and not being happy in the relationship with your partner. Difference of opinion on moving forward. So as I said, that the couple, the case I discussed right now, that one partner wanted to move to the IVF process immediately after getting the reports, and one partner wanted to take a break. One partner wanted to rest for a while, take in the idea of what reports they have got, and then maybe move forward, right? But when that was not communicated, when that was not conveyed to the partner, what happened is, in that case, the one person started developing worthlessness, depression, anxiety, which is a very, very common case with a lot of couples who's going through infertility or going through process of IVF or artificial pregnancy or assisted pregnancy. So difference of opinion of moving forward is going to be there. If if you're a couple who's facing this right now, trust me, this is an issue that all the couples do experience. Okay, and let's not just limit it to infertility. Even if it's a fertile couple, okay, and they are planning for a child, right, there is a difference of opinion of how to move forward. Okay, how much to take care of, what all to do, what all to eat, what all XYZ thing. There are so many things that happens in that process, right? So that difference is always there. And if you feel that, if we don't acknowledge that difference, if we don't acknowledge that, okay, there is a sense of difference between us, or we have a difference of opinion, you want different thing, I want different thing, it can create a lot of problems. So acknowledging that fact, that okay, of course there will be difference of opinion, you are a different individual, I am a different individual, we can't have the same opinion about the same things. So that acknowledgement in itself is the first step towards having a healthy relationship between infertile couple. So from here, now we will discuss of ways of how to convert that an unhealthy relationship, of converting that, disagreement, communication gap, and all those things into a more healthy manner, a more healthy pattern, right? Let's start with the major part, that is the communication part. However tough you might feel, however small you think the issue is, however you would think that it's not something I should bring up with my partner, you must bring that up, because you would feel that it's a small issue. You would feel that, oh, it's just me just having one of those days where I'm not feeling okay. Your partner has to be a part of your process. You have to take your partner with yourself on this journey, because if your partner is not part of this process, then ultimately you both are going ahead for being parents, right? One of you is not looking for being a parent and the other is not going to be a parent. Both of you will together become parents. In that case, take your partner with yourself on this journey. Communicate your thoughts, however small it is. Even if you feel that you are not okay with the process, how it is going, communicate that. You are not comfortable, there is a pain sensation, anything that happens, you have to communicate that with your partner. And apart from the infertility issues, you have to talk about your intimacy. You have to talk about your couple system. You have to sustain your individual selves as well as the couple system, regardless of the childbearing process, or if there is a positive result and you do conceive, it should not be that then only you are a complete couple. You already are complete individuals, you already are a family. Just you have to realize that fact. You just have to make sure that both of you know that a child is an add-on to the family and not the whole family. Again, the same thing, that infertility is a part of your life and not your whole life, right? So that communication is very important. How do you communicate? Various ways there are. One thing that you can do is connect with your partner in some other ways. Now, what does other way mean is that you can connect with your partner in terms of their hobbies, in terms of the things that both of you used to do together before you started planning for a child. It could be, you both used to go see movies. You both used to go to a favorite restaurant and, have spent some quality time together. Or it could be as simple as, you just being at home and cooking together, helping each other in, household chores. All those things, other than the infertility part, other than the process, has to be there. So if I give you the example of IVF, right? IVF is a long process, right? It goes on for 9 days, then there is OPU, then there is XYZ process, right? When that happens, okay, it is just 1%, of your day. It is just 1 hour of your day, right? But what happens is, couple talk about infertility issue the whole day. They keep on talking about how to go about it. Will it be successful? I don't think so it will be successful. Why is it happening to us? And all their conversation is just revolving around the topic of infertility. You have to connect with your partner other than the topic of infertility. You have to talk to your partner, about other things. There are so many things that you both connected on. You both, when you got married, when you formed the partnership, there were so many things that both of you did together. Try focusing your energy on those things, because if you lose your partnership, if you lose your family system that already exists, the completeness that already exists between you and your partner, in, in that case you will not be mentally ready for absolutely anything. Even if it's like bearing a child, even if it's just even if it's just facing a negative report of, failure of IVF or failure of IUI, right? Have that time with your partner and allow for differences. As we discussed that, of course, you both are different individuals, right? You both were not raised together. You both were not raised in the same families, right? So you both have faced different environments, seen different environments. In that case, allow for the differences. If I am talking to you, right? Of course, I know that a lot of our opinions are not going to match because again, it's we are different personalities. I am Saloni, you are, XYZ person. So in that case, you have to acknowledge that, hey, I understand that you are a different person. I understand that you're coming from a different place. You have different opinion. And I totally respect that. From there, of course, communicate what your opinion is, communicate what you are feeling, but in that process, don't disrespect the other partner's opinion. So allow for that difference and have that conversation. Reach out for support. This is something that I advertise a lot, is that of course there is taboo, okay, and if you feel that your family, your friends, or some sibling or anybody is not going to be supportive, is not going to understand, what is happening, and they constantly provide you with certain ideas which is not going to be healthy for you, for your mental health as well as physical health. Of course, you should ignore, you should not, indulge yourself in those kind of opinions, but do seek support because that's something that you will require. It can be, support from one of the friends you feel that is, that is approachable, or maybe your parents, or or sibling, or maybe a professional help. That is a very important part which couples don't realize, that is also available, that is a professional counselor therapist help. So allow for, that support to be there and reach out to that. If in the middle of the process you feel that it's getting overwhelming, it's getting, too much for you to handle, in that case, reach out to these people, reach out with your questions, reach out with, your queries, and definitely they'll be able to help you. Sit down and make a plan with your partner. Having a healthy relationship starts with organizing your thoughts, organizing your ideas, organizing your opinions, and then deciding upon that, okay, if you feel that you cannot start the procedure right now and I feel that we should go ahead with it immediately, what we can do is maybe sit down and have a plan, that how long, you want to take time, and we want to see a professional help, we want to go see the doctor, how much time, we have, and when would be the best time to start this process. All these things are a part of making a plan. If you don't make a plan and you just go ahead and, be with that, okay, let's just, go with the flow and decide on the way what to do, when to do, and all of that, in that case, sometimes it does work out because it doesn't put a lot of pressure on you. It puts, just you're like, okay, going with the flow, and whatever the doctor suggests, you're going to do that. But what happens is, if you do make a plan, you always have a plan B to fall on. And in this case, both of you have discussed the negatives of the process. That, okay, if we are making a plan, we know that it's going to take a financial strain. We know that it's going to take an emotional strain. The woman can talk about the physical strain she'll have to go through in the process, and she's ready or not ready to go through that, right? So all these things do come under the part of making a plan. And when you make a plan, you have to compromise. Now, when I say the word compromise, it seems like it's a negative term. It's something that, couple should not do. Or if you are an individual self, there should not be a need for compromise in relationships. But that's not true. People who promote the idea that, relationships are always, or partnerships are always 50-50, that's absolutely not true. The truth is that it's always not 50-50. But as a couple, as a partner, as a unit, together you have to come to a full 100%. Now, what I'm saying in that case is sometimes the woman who's maybe going through the process of IUI and IVF will not feel physically well. Okay, will not be able to give uh, her part of 50%. On those days, the husband has to realize that today is the day I have to maybe take 70% or 80% in the relationship, and be there for the other person, be there for my partner, right? That accountability, that recognizing that okay, I have to give more than 50% has to be there. So that compromise should not be looked upon as a negative term. It's a term that is very positive because you're compromising for something to be happy, something to be achieved, something to be accomplished. So always try and think that in this situation, how much is required from my side? Is, do I have to today give maybe 80%, or do I have to be on 20% because I can be today, I'm not feeling well, and my partner will take the remaining 80%. So do compromise on those ideas, consider counseling, and remember that infertility is not forever, and it's not, again, your whole life. It's just a part of your life. Consider counseling because through all these process, in order to have very specific answers to your very specific questions, because of course a couple who goes through infertility, they tend to have a lot of questions, a lot of questions that are very specific to their relationship, right? Which might not be, I might not be able to address it in a Facebook live, or in a group session, because that question is coming from a very specific place in their relationship, that my husband has this XYZ timings for office, and I have this XYZ timings of office. How do we find the time to have couple time, right? So all these questions are very specific to your needs, and in order to have answers that that cater to your personal questions, you should seek professional help, that is counseling or therapist, psychologist. And your hospital, I think now most of the hospitals do provide that. You will be able to consult your doctor, and they'll definitely guide you to the correct person in this case. So do seek professional counseling help, therapy help, because they will be the best person to tell you about your specific needs. And remember, again, the note that I would like to end this live on is that this process is not your whole life. You cannot be defined as this person who's just going through, IVF or IUI or any kind of process. You are not a couple who's incomplete without a child. You're already a family. You're already a, full system, complete system. You just want to have this extra happiness, this add-on into your life, which is totally understandable. Which is, we understand that okay, you want a child because you want that experience to you want to experience that happiness. But that does not mean that without the child you are incomplete, or without the child you do not have a sense of being a family, a sense of being a unit. So feel that way, and whatever your questions are, please consult your doctors, because they will be the best people to answer your questions, rather than going on Google and searching how to deal with this or how to go about this. Because Google might not be the, or any web service or any online platform might not be the best place to cater to all these questions. So do that, and yeah, whoever is watching, if you are going through this process, I wish you all the best. And just remember that you yourself, as an individual, as a couple, are worthy, and this is just, you're doing something for your own happiness. But that does not mean that it's just the end of life. It's just a part of it. So thank you so much. I'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes if there are any questions. While I'm waiting for the questions, if there is any question, I just want to also address this that I have met a couple who come in, and when they are talking about that their healthy relationship, or how do we cope with this thing. What happens is, in that case, a lot of couples start blaming each other, right? Start saying that um, I don't think so that I was the person to be blamed in this situation. I feel that if she or he would have done something better, I would have been in a better place, right? When there is a sense of blaming, and one partner is blaming onto the other, the partners have to realize that that blaming is coming from an emotional space. A lot of my patients have blamed their partner that I don't feel that he listens to me, or she listens to me. In that case, what happens is, it's coming from an emotional space. It's coming from a place that I want my partner to listen to me, but they don't have the time to do it, right? So listen to your partner. Listening is, listening with kindness and empathy is a very, very important part of, this whole process of this whole, being determined as a healthy relationship, healthy partnership, healthy team. Listen, understand where it is coming from, and if you are genuinely trying to blame it on your partner, it doesn't make sense, because they themselves also do not have control over a lot of things. So yeah, with that, I think I'll end today's live, and I hope it really helped you, and just all the best to everyone who's seeing this.